Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rob. I'm a facilitator at PrêtX, who'll be delivering these career boot camps this coming July. I think what we'll do is we'll take questions at the end, but I'll go ahead and get started with this introduction to our boot camps in healthcare, finance, and law, taking place in Bangkok this July 2024. So just to give a bit of theory behind why we do things the way we do. So we have these 5-day camps that really are aimed to orient students in a direction which is more true to their passions and interests. So we call it the 1 in 60 rule, which is a rule which pilots learn when they are studying for their pilot's license, which is a very small change in direction, very small change in trajectory of just 1 degree can make a very big difference over time. So over 60 miles, you might be 1 mile away from where you intended to be if you just make a very tiny change. So really think of that in the context of a student's life. Is that 5-10 years down the line, you might be somewhere very, very different if you just have a small shift or change in a direction which more suits your interest and your passions. So that's what we aim to do. We want to curate workplace experiences. We want to give students access to mentors and industry experts and build up a knowledge about a certain industry that they might be interested in pursuing. So we're quite clear about the objectives: industry knowledge, uncovering your passion, and then where do I take this experience? What do I want to do next? What is the next stage in my journey towards a given industry or career? So I'm just going to get straight into it. And you can see here our health bootcamp from the 1st to the 5th of July. You'll see that these schedules are fairly consistent across Monday to Friday. On the Monday, we'll always meet for an ice-breaking session where students will be introduced to each other, and we'll set some of the expectations and learning objectives for the week. We like to get everybody in the co-working space at the Great Room for the Monday. And then do a digital session. So usually Mondays are taken up with connecting with companies that are in some way involved in the digital space, because we can do that remotely, and we can just have all students, in one place for the day. So that would be in the morning. It would be Biodigital, which is a Google map of the human body, that company doing that kind of work, and then DocDoc is a health technology company in the afternoon. We do have other options for health technology in the afternoon that we'll be evaluating over time, but the one we used for December was a health technology company breaking down patient analytics. Tuesday is a day at med school, which is a fantastic experience for students that really want to get hands-on and are looking at medicine as a study track. We will be doing things like suturing. We'll be looking at slides in the histology lab. We'll be learning how to pipette. We'll be in the cadaver lab looking at dead bodies, mortal remains. So everything will be supervised by professors at Chulapon College of Medicine, which is under Thammasat University. So that, as a doctor, you're going to have to get used to learning. So this is a taste of what future will be like. On Wednesday, we take a look into health policy. So this is not so much treating patients one-on-one, but learning to save lives through policy. So we have the US Center for Disease Control looking after us then. After lunch, we'll be looking at psychology. So what is a day in the life of a psychologist like? We'll be visiting the treatment space that this US psychologist is. Thursday we'll be looking to spend a day at an international hospital. The Grad hosted us last December. We are also evaluating other hospitals right now to look after us for that day. But essentially, we'll be speaking with doctors, understanding what is really the life like for a practicing medical professional, understanding a bit about the business and the economics of international hospitals here in Thailand, where there's a big healthcare industry. Some advancements being made in terms of pharmacies and how labs operate and support the general operations of a hospital, and also hopefully a little bit of training in there as well, so some practical skills can be picked up. On Friday, we aim to consolidate our learning back in the co-working space. So we'll be running a simulation exercise. In the healthcare industry, everything runs on practice. So practice makes perfect. So we're going to be testing what students have learned through a simulation exercise of a COVID-19 outbreak in a complex scenario. And then at the end of every day, there are reflections. And on the Friday, we're going to be summing up all those reflections. So students will then talk a bit about what they've learned and what they hope to take in terms of next steps. Okay, so that's the health camp. We can take some questions at the end. And please do put questions into the chat box if you have any. The finance camp this will be the second time we've done that. Again, on that Monday, we'll be looking to keep it very much in the co-working space. We'll be taking a session with Anne Kim, who's leading the finance camp in the morning, and she'll be sharing about her experience in investment banking and getting students familiar with all of the jargon and the terminology that they'll be encountering in the rest of the week. In the afternoon, we'll be looking at the financial side of technology. So how technology is driving the future of finance and taking a dive into a technology company. Tuesday, we aim to spend the day at a bank. So I think most students looking at studying finance or economics will eventually be looking possibly at a banking career at the end of that. We were hosted by Bank of America last year. We're also evaluating different banking partners going forward. But essentially, that will cover the gamut, everything from investment banking to retail, corporate banking, what exactly risk management is, and hopefully a practical scenario such as a currency trading challenge, which we can get students to really sort of experience what trading at a bank is like. Wednesday, we're going to be looking at real estate. So, exactly how these very large real estate development projects are financed in Thailand. And one of the tenants at Siam Piwat, which is, I don't know if you know Siam Paragon, the large shopping mall, who will be hosting us in the morning. Get Fresh is one of their tenants. So we'll be able to see it both from the landlord and the tenant perspective of how those finances work. And Get Fresh is a food concept, and it was founded by a venture capital firm, Stone Lotus, who will be there sharing about how they raised capital for their startup, which is, I think, a great thing for students to learn, capital raising. Thursday, we'll be hosted by the World Bank. So for those budding economists out there, we'll be understanding, well, what is life like as an economist compared to, say, a trader or a banker. And then we'll also be running a session for students, basically personal finance, personal financial hygiene, budgeting, how to get involved, what trading is like, index funds, low risk financial strategies to grow your wealth over time. So that involves the time value of money. And of course, the more time you have, the richer you can get. So that's why it's good to start this kind of learning when you're young. Friday, we'll visit the Stock Exchange of Thailand. So those are the capital markets, understanding that, how capital flows through the market into companies, and how trading happens on that stock exchange. So that's going to be Friday. And of course, in the afternoon, the presentations where students, again, will share their thoughts, their learnings, and what they plan to do as a next step. So that's our finance bootcamp. Expect a real action-packed week. It's kind of intense, but absolutely, it's rubbed off really well on our students, and it's great to see this year's crop of finance bootcamp students apply and get accepted to universities all over the world, with this as an important part of understanding what they'll be applying for and what career track that they're on. So very, very valuable. The law bootcamp is going to be from the 8th to the 12th. So this is the week after the health and finance courses. This really, it's a first for us to put this on. On the Monday, again, we'll keep people at the co-working space, have an icebreaker from a lawyer to talk a bit about what law is. And in the afternoon, a UK lawyer and judge will be joining us to explain a bit more about how these different legal systems differ. Tuesday is really exciting. This is criminology. So we're going to be, this is a department at Rangsit University funded by the Thai judiciary. And the police there can teach us about crime innovations in crime suppression and law enforcement. So part of that is learning what technology is used in crime scene investigation. They're going to make a mock crime scene for us, and then students will be taught how to assess a crime scene, which is fascinating and certainly would be a first for me. And they're also trialing various innovations such as AI in law enforcement on that campus. So we're going to see a bit about, spend a day basically with the Thai police and how new innovations can be tested and researched and deployed. On Wednesday, we'll be visiting a courts museum, so we can actually do a mock court session ourselves, and we can then visit the criminal court afterwards to actually see a court in session and what that is actually like. So that will be very much a kind of deep dive into the Thai court system. Thursday, we'll visit a very well-established corporate law firm here in Thailand. They have a really cool museum where they have collected a whole load of counterfeit goods, and each of these items tells a story and how they had to intervene on behalf of their clients to fix these intellectual property right infringements. So that's where we're also going to learn a bit about what life of a lawyer is like. And on Friday, we'll be spending time with a human rights lawyer, so to understand, what human rights are, how are they protected, and again, on Friday afternoon, summarizing everything, bringing all of these different strands together to really understand what the next steps are, what you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy. I often tell students it's important to understand what you didn't enjoy, because we're trying to give a buffet of options here to students, and students, through being given a buffet, can try different things. Some they won't like, others they will. But in life, it's just as important to avoid the things you're not interested in as to pursue the things that you are. So, it's important that students understand that they will enjoy certain activities and content more than others. So we're really looking at 15 to 18-year-olds. Class size of 12 will be the average. Students will get a certificate of completion with the logos of the partners on there, and every day students will be able to have access to lunch. There'll be some kind of food court nearby where students can spend money on lunch with their pocket money, and we'll also be chaperoning students during the day, and students can then be picked up or can make their way back to where their parents are staying in the evening. Just a bit about us. So I'll be taking on the healthcare and the law camps, and Anne will be taking on the finance boot camp. So you can see there she has a fantastic background in finance and also startups, and is very well placed to look after kids for a week as they delve into that world of finance. I have a healthcare background and education, yeah, I look forward to taking another class on the health bootcamp. So if you'd like to see some of our videos, we've done some coverage of our previous finance and healthcare bootcamps. Overall, the feedback has been great. The students have all been very engaged. We can promise by the end of each day, students will be very tired. They'll probably go to bed early. It's kind of intense, a lot of information, but really our role there is just to kind of facilitate student passion and student interest, and we do that just by keeping them busy and keeping them challenged. So yeah, please go ahead and watch our videos on YouTube. You can click on those links. So yeah, a bit about Academy Prêt. So have a really strong track record, helping students, guide students towards universities and careers of their choice. Strong presence around Asia. So we're really pleased this year to be welcoming more students on these camps, and building on the work that we've done last year, where, as I said, a lot of those students now are heading off to universities with their study and career path ahead of them. So that's it from me. I'm happy to take some questions. I see there are some questions in the chat box, so I'm just going to see how I might be able to see those questions. I can't actually see those questions. Sorry, how do I pull those up?
I have them.
Okay, cool.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anne. Good to see you all here. One parent question was, where do students coming from outside of Bangkok stay, and is it safe?
Okay, you'd like me to answer that?
I'll answer it, and please jump in,
Sure.
Rob. Rob is a resident in Bangkok, so he's very well versed on safety and where everything is. I grew up in Bangkok myself, so pretty well versed as well. But myself and our team members will all be staying in one hotel together. It's going to be within a 5-minute walking distance to our main venue, which is basically in the Gay Sorn area, very central in Bangkok. And so for those who are not from Bangkok, who are not Bangkok residents, it is quite mandatory actually to take up our accommodation package, because we will be arranging for all airport transfers the minute you land in Thailand all the way to the minute you fly out. You'll be under our care, and so that will include morning walks to the venue together, and it'll also include evening roll call and nightly checks, spot checks included, just to make sure everyone is in the right location and staying safe. And actually, just as Rob mentioned, the days are pretty full. So students are pretty knackered, pretty tired by the end of the day. So when they are released at 4:30, they'll have just enough time to take a little rest. There are really great friendships that already formed. So a lot of our students last year would go to dinner together, and then they're due back in the hotel location. There's a lot of food options around the area, so students don't stray too far. Yeah, they will be kept very safe, and very busy and very tired. Rob, anything else to add?
No, I think I think Bangkok is one of those places where every now and then there might be a protest or some kind of issue, but we make sure that we keep on top of this kind of thing. And as I said, I lived there for 8 years now, so we're quite used to dealing with some of the surprises which Bangkok throws up. But no, overall, it is a safe city. 40 million people visit Thailand every single year, so it's very well set up to kind of welcome people from out of town. So yeah, look forward to welcoming you, as many of you as we can fit.
Great. And we'll move on to the next question from the parents. So the next question is, how do students use this experience for college and career pathways? Yes, so our programs are designed to explore the right career pathways, try it on for size, and see what's the best fit for the student. Based on our students who attended our boot camps in finance and healthcare last year. So a lot of our students have used their experiences in their college application essays and their personal statements to talk about why they are so inspired from that experience to study, to go into medicine or to go and study accounting and finance and business, for example. And then those who have yet to apply for college, they have continued to deepen their experiences by attending other boot camps as well as internship programs with us, as well as to find their own experiences to dive deeper into. And throughout our week of boot camps, the students are led through daily self-reflection as well as a important wrap-up at the end of the week. So every step of the way, the students are guided to piece all the different subsectors of that industry together so that with every experience that they get every day, they'll be able to put that jigsaw puzzle together to look at the whole industry and also to apply their learnings and apply their interests to figure out what is the right career pathway just for that's fit just for them. Yeah. Anything else we could add, Mr. Rob?
No, I mean, other than that, we're kind of seeing students now head off to school. That was just amazing to see, you know, students, you know, really driving a direction in their lives and in their studies and career, which was informed by this type of experience. You know, I see a lot of students that, for instance, say, you know what, I've realized that investment banking is really not something I want to pursue. I'd much rather go down the economics route. Just through speaking and, you know, the time that they're spending with these experts. So it just gives, you know, the worst thing that, it's not the worst thing, but it's just disruptive for students if they want to change their major halfway through. So, you know, it's really nice to have greater conviction about what you're going to study and the investment that you're going to make in that study early on. And that, as I said, that conviction, it also just gives a lot more reassurance to both, you know, the student and everyone else around them, especially those funding the study. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Right. Absolutely. Actually, I want to add two student examples from last year. One is what Rob just said of a student coming in thinking, oh, I'm open to investment banking. After a week of the finance boot camp with us, he actually decided, no, investment banking is not a good fit for me, but I want to go into something that is more law and regulatory finance. So he's still with us, actually, after going through finance bootcamp last year. He's deepening his experience by going into, he'll be at the law bootcamp as well as doing a one-on-one internship in the banking and regulatory sector, but not in the regulatory and law sector and not quite investment banking and corporate finance itself. So that's one example of how students have been able to hone exactly what in the field of finance is the most appropriate for them. And then we have another student who attended our healthcare bootcamp. He started with not quite sure if he wanted to do medicine. At first, he thought that he wanted to pursue medicine and particularly neuroscience. After experiencing the healthcare bootcamp and seeing the behind the scenes of the hospital, how it's run, as well as going through a day of being a medical student, he decided that he wanted to go deeper into the diagnostic and biochemistry sector. So he's still with us as well, and he'll be back doing an internship in that specific area. So think these are two examples of how students have gone through the bootcamp process and been able to hone in on exactly what's the best fit, and then to go deeper in that experience. Right. Are there any other questions we can answer for you? I think perhaps there are no other questions. If there are no other questions, thank you very much for your time. This session is recorded, so we will have it available for playback if you require. And we are, of course, always available for any further questions you may have over WhatsApp, over Line, and over email as well. Back
Okay.
to you, Mr. Rob.
Yeah, no, thank you everybody for joining today. And yeah, please let us know if we can provide any more information. And yeah, look forward to seeing you this summer.
Looking forward. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye.